Hello YouTube, Totalhenry here, and I'm here with another manga review. I'm going to be reviewing Phoenix by Osamu Tezuka, Volume 7, Civil War, Part 1. Now, for those of you that don't know, Phoenix, there will be spoilers in this video, so just be warned. But as I was saying, Phoenix is considered by many to be the greatest manga series of all time. It's a 12-volume thing by Tezuka, and it's considered to be his life's work. Or he even said this was his life's work, and it's 12 volumes of stories. Like, at first glance, they're standalone stories, but when you Tezuka says when you read them all together, it all makes sense, and there's all these different characters in them, and like they all reappear. And the thing that makes Phoenix so incredible is Volume 1 starts in the far past, Volume 2 in like the far future, then Volume 3 like back in the past but not as early. Volume 4 would be in the future but not as far ahead, and just keeps going where it's like in the past, in the future, then back until they meets right in the middle in the present, and that's the final volume. And it's just one of the best series ever. It's like so highly regarded, and but it's really hard to get a hold of. And so this is volume 7, and I really like this volume. It's sort of classic Tezuka stuff. Sort of starting off with the art. Tezuka's art, I think, is very hit or miss for probably most people, just because it's not as good as other art as you would see from like Murata or Obata. It's not as good as that, but it still has its own charm. Like, one of my main problems with it is some of the characters' faces. Like, it just doesn't look as good. Sometimes they are very cartoony, and it just sometimes like looks like there's not a lot of effort put into it. And you either like, I think, the cartoony style, or you probably don't. Just some of the characters look really weird. Like, here there's a good picture right there of some of the characters. They don't look cool. Like, very little lines, just like sort of like a happy face. But Tezuka's art is he's really good at drawing plants and animals, things like that. These pages right here are beautiful, like the background right there. It's just fantastic, and I believe he drew all of this himself. Like, he didn't have any assistants or anything. So overall, I like the art. I'm okay with the cartoon characters. He obviously was very playful. He had a sense of humor about this. Now, onto the story about this. Now, none of Tezuka's stories, including Phoenix, are just like blow your mind out of the water. They're not like Death Note with super intricate plots. They seem simple, but as it goes on, it just gets more and more complex. This volume is at the end of the Heian period in the 12th century here on the back, and it's about a hunter named Benta, and his fiance gets abducted, and Obuyu, and she's forced to become an attendant of a powerful man. And it's just about Benta trying to get his wife back. They're about to get married. Just trying to gather his life together, and at the same time, there is a civil war brewing in Japan. And Benta's wife, she is on sort of in one side. She's like inadvertently getting involved in it, and there's a whole lot of tension going on here. So it starts off as like a very simple story of a man trying to get his wife back. This poor working man who's like a simple woodcutter trying to get into the capital, get into like the nobility house, and get his wife back, who was stolen from him. But it starts to get more complex as other characters get involved that want to bring down this one family and rise up the other family, and then like vice versa. So the plot does thicken through this book. This is only part 1, so I don't know how it ends. I really want to know what happens in this. And it's just a really good story. It is told really well. This is a pretty thick volume. This is over 300 pages. Tezuka takes his time with it. He doesn't rush at anything. At times the pace is very very slow, but there are so many characters in there, a little bit too much maybe for my taste because it's hard to keep track of them. Maybe I just didn't try hard enough. But there are so many characters in there, and they each have their own motivations, and there are so many just heartfelt moments in this book. Like a bunch of these characters that are just living on their own in the woods. They have their own motivations, and they're very different from like the samurais here in the capital. All these rich people, and just overall, this is such a great book, and I want to continue reading Phoenix, but the volumes are so expensive, so hard to find that I don't know if I will ever have the chance to be able to buy them and read them all. But it's something I'm going to try. I don't know. It might take me a few years because it's a lot of money. But Phoenix, this is something I definitely recommend. Even if it's just one volume, you should find it because this is considered by many to be the greatest manga series of all time. And it's simple, but it's just incredibly deep and complex, and I would recommend this to anybody. It doesn't really take itself too seriously. It just sort of goes with the story, and it's just about telling you a tale. He's not preaching anything to you, and I can't stop praising this series. Phoenix, Osamu Tezuka, Civil War. Read this series. It will make you a better person. It will make you just read it. Just read it.